There's an unspoken certainty that each and every one of us baby boomers knows is that we have more life behind us than we have ahead of us. And if you are the adult child of a baby boomer, you know the gut wrenching day is looming when your parents will no longer be around. So, what can you do in the interim to help them extend their life? In today's show, I'll be sharing 5 gifts you can give your baby boomer parents so that they can thrive as they move through to aging with more health and vitality. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Bybreen Samuels, and you're here at the Smart Years, a place where baby boomers can reinvent, thrive, and live well into their third act of life. On October the 1st, it's Longevity Day, otherwise known as the International Day to celebrate older people, which should be done 365 days of the year, but here is the international recognition for us. And it's about the contributions we've made to date, the ones we will make in the future, and, this growing trend right across the world that we're all living longer. Now, the first gift that you can actually give your parents is, could you become the sponsor of their monthly date night? That's right, be their date night sponsor, which will give your parents the opportunity to get dressed up, to reminisce, to go out on a date and take themselves back to a time when they didn't have you as their child or children. Now, you might be thinking, what kind of thing could I do? Well, one of the things that we as baby boomers love is a sense of nostalgia. And so when we were growing up through our teens and our 20s, one of the things we love to do, whether it's with our boyfriend at the time or with groups of friends, was we loved going to the pictures. I remember, the late night days of the late 70s, early 80s, and, through the 80s, we loved going to the cinema and we loved live music. So we went to lots of live events. So maybe you could pay for your parents to go to the movies once a month, spend £50 on your parents, whereby they can get dressed up, have a good time, reminisce. But also, you're giving them bragging rights. They'll be the ones talking to their friends and maybe their other family members saying, such and such child, what they did, they're paying for us, they're being our sponsor on our date night. It's a wonderful way for your parents to tap into themselves. Or if you're thinking in terms of music or any other kind of cultural events, take a look to see what's on the horizon in your city. I'll give you an example. Last year, I was one of the very lucky people that got to Sotheby's because they were hosting the exhibition for Freddie Mercury from the fantastic band Queen. And I was so lucky that I not only managed to go to the exhibition where there were about 40,000 exhibits, but I was also very, very lucky to be able to go to the auction. Not that I could afford to pay for anything, but it was great being in the room. What I have to say was there was the vast majority of people were baby boomers because we all grew up with Freddie Mercury and Queen. So think about your parents. Who are they into? Is that band still around, or is a particular singer still around? Is there an event that's been built around that particular artist that you could gift your parents? They would love it. And while you're gifting them on a monthly basis, you could also write them a cute little note. I remember watching Kerry Washington, the actress Kerry Washington, and each time her parents' birthday, she buys them gifts, obviously, and she also writes them a cheeky little note that says, "Mum and Dad, so happy that you got it on, and because I'm here." It's a family joke, and that's something that maybe you could do with your parents that they will giggle at and you will giggle at. But becoming their monthly date night sponsor would be a great thing to do. Okay, so just think nostalgia. That's one of the things we as baby boomers love. Then we have this sense of, could you be the financial fairy godmother or fairy godfather? Now, this one's going to require a little bit more money because if you have some disposable income, Could you contribute to your parents' mortgage? Maybe you pay 1 month out of every quarter. Or if you have siblings, can you pull together in a way whereby you're reducing that financial responsibility or burden that your parents might be going through? Now, I know this is going to require a little bit more of a financial commitment, but is there a way where you can be reducing the bills that your parents still pay? Now, there are very famous people who've done this, and I appreciate they have a very large disposable income. So we have Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Cardi B, John Boyega, and Margot Robbie. Each of them have either paid off their parents' mortgage, or they have bought them a new home, or they have retired them. And so, in what ways could you become your parents' financial fairy godmother or fairy godfather? The third one is aiding them, helping them to become Wonder Woman or Wonder Man. And what I mean by this is, could you afford to pay for 3 months worth of a senior membership to their local gym, and built within that is access to a personal trainer? This is going to be fantastic for your parents because A, they might not do this because they don't see it as an urgency. And yet, you, as their child, you're always hearing them complain about, the pain in their knee, in their back, in their hips. And you're noticing, how their body is slowing down because, as we age, our body does start to do things to us whereby we're thinking, oh, I remember when I was a lot fitter, I was able to have more agility in my body. And if we're in pain, that means we move less. And if we move less, we age more. And if we age more or we age faster, you can already see where the decline can, sink in. So you could become the person that helps to turn your parents into Wonder Woman and Wonder Man. It will be really empowering for them. And one of the things that we as baby boomers really hate is to waste money. And so your parents may feel a little bit of an obligation if you buy this for them, that they start going and then realize they absolutely love it. Why? Because they're able to see these tiny increments of change that's taking place in their life. They're noticing maybe their saggy back wings aren't as saggy anymore, or that little paunch that has been building up over the years is slowly but surely going down. And then after the 3 months, you may find that your parents actually step in and continue the cost of it, or might you might continue it as well. But it's a wonderful way to get your parents active. And just yesterday, I went back to the borough I grew up in South London. And I went because the borough, the local authority there, was hosting a sports day for the whole borough. And this particular borough wants to be known as the borough of sport. And it was fantastic. You had all types of sports there, and you had families and you had generations, from the silent generation to baby boomers, Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. We were all there taking in the different offerings that were there. But it's a wonderful thing for you to begin to pay attention to what's happening locally in your area. Is there something that your local authority is doing that you could benefit from, that you think, oh, that would be really great for my boomer parents? Go check it out. The fourth one is, this one's going to require you to demonstrate your emotional intelligence. This one's not going to cost you money, but it is going to require you to grow in terms of your personal development. And this is you becoming a bridge builder to your other parent. What I mean by this is, you might have a great relationship with one of your parents. Let's say it's your mom. You've always had a great relationship with her. You're able to talk with her with ease, and there's lots of fun. And you see her as your best friend, but no doubt she will remind you that she is still the parent, but nonetheless, you have a great relationship and there's an ease between you. However, when it comes to your dad, you might find you think you're speaking one language, he's speaking another. So you completely miscommunicate, or even if there's a common word between the two of you that you sort of both understand, when you try to navigate and get into conversation, it's awkward, it's stilted, and you don't really feel yourself. This one is going to require you to how do you begin to bridge that internal gap within yourself where you're feeling this sense of discomfort? But also, how do you begin to reach out to that parent? So there's a Dr. Karen Fingerman from the University of Texas, and what she says that it's so important to begin to build these bridges with yourself, but also with both of your parents, because this is going to aid their mental health and will improve their longevity. And maybe you could start turning on your inner Oprah Winfrey. Now, the reason why I mention Oprah is because we as baby boomers, we grew up on Oprah Winfrey. She really was the catalyst for so many of us in terms of tapping into our emotions. And so, is there a way that you can begin to tune into your inner Oprah, whereby you're beginning to become more sensitized to your parents? They are human, their fragilities. And is there a way that you can become more forgiving towards that parents where you're feeling this sense of awkwardness? All of that is for you to explore. But this bridge building is a wonderful gift you can give to your parents, because even though you may get on with one parent more than the other parent, they are still a couple, they're still together. And so there is tension that exists within the family home. And what you're trying to do is to remove any friction, because you're trying to extend the quality of life of your parents, not be a reason that brings agitation into their world. So let's see how you get on with being the bridge builder. And then the fifth, and I would say the ultimate gift that you can give your parents, is the gift of getting your life together. So last week I was speaking to an old friend of mine, and it was wonderful. We had one of these, these rambling conversations that you have with your old friends. But what was so lovely was hearing her. I can literally feel her breathing a sigh of relief that her son, he's now settled into his career. He's found, work that he really enjoys. And it was like, I can now relax. I think she literally said that she can relax, or words to that effect, that, when she's on her deathbed, at least she knows that he's okay. He's on the right side. He's growing into himself. He's stabilized. And so the ultimate gift you can give your parents is to remove any anxiety, any worry that they may have silently, or more overtly, because they want the best for you. They always want the best for you. And so their worry can be around maybe some of the choices you've made in the past that has led you astray, or hanging around the wrong crowd, or being in a relationship that really does dim your light and undermine you. And what they're silently praying for is that you grow into yourself. You're taking that responsibility to, what we used to say in Buddhist terms, polish your internal mirror. And so therefore that you can grow, and they can see that, and they can see you becoming happier as you're leading your life, as opposed to allowing life to shape the direction of who you are, and who you're becoming. So, Dr. Linda Fried of the University of Columbia talks about the health and well being of aging parents is intrinsically tied to the well being of their adult children. They want them to thrive, and in seeing them thrive means that they have better healthcare outcomes for themselves. So, they are the 5 beautiful gifts that you can give your parents. And, some require money, some don't require money, some require more money than others. But here's a way that you can continue to bring joy into your parents' life as they recognize that they have, however much longer they have, it's a finite number of years left. and they want to enjoy themselves. They want to enjoy you. They want to enjoy family life. And so, as their adult child, these are the 5 gifts that you can give your parents so that they can live a more expansive and extended life. I'd love to hear the gifts that you're going to give. Put them in the comment box below. And please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And I will see you again on the next show. Take care. Bye bye.